Hola amigos de Perlas Cristianas, estamos aquí en una nueva entrega de Perlas Cristianas y en esta ocasión queremos presentarles cómo la batalla por la vida en Estados Unidos es la batalla política más importante de los últimos 50 años. Sí, los partidos republicano y demócrata están en esa batalla por la vida. No sabemos si porque esos son graneros de votos o porque el Partido Republicano realmente concibe que sin vida no hay esperanza para el pueblo americano. Sin vida no hay esperanza para el planeta Tierra. El ser humano no es el problema. El ser humano es la solución, repite machaconamente un buen amigo mío. Y en esta batalla por la vida, pues en Estados Unidos existen distintas situaciones en los diferentes estados, porque ya saben que Estados Unidos tiene la capacidad de legislar cada estado de forma diferente. Es Estados Unidos un continente, prácticamente, y en ese continente existen muchas formas de gobierno que tienen que subsistir. La vida tiene que ser vivida. Ese es nuestro lema, ese es nuestro por qué estamos aquí hoy. Hay una entrevista muy interesante sobre el estado de Florida porque es el estado donde con más ahínco y con más fuerza se están presentando los argumentos para que la vida, desde la concepción hasta la muerte natural, sea concebida como algo a respetar por todos, pero sobre todo para que cada uno de nosotros aprendamos a que hacemos sociedad amándonos, cuidándonos, queriéndonos en cualquier momento de nuestra vida. Así que damos paso a este reportaje que seguro les va a interesar porque aglutina la situación que vive Estados Unidos desde el punto de vista de defensa de los derechos de la vida hasta la próxima elección del presidente americano. Hasta aquí les dejo con el reportaje para que sigan informados y ya saben, difundan y hablen de la vida. Eso nos ayudará a todos. Chao.
The abortion debate to the states. Ballot initiatives, which allow voters to shape their state's abortion laws, have become the latest front in the battle for life. And this November, a record 10 states will vote on abortion. This map from Catholic News Agency and EWTN Pro-Life Weekly shows where abortion is on the ballot. States in yellow will vote on whether to amend their state constitutions to include a so-called right to abortion. Arizona, Colorado, Florida, Maryland, Missouri, Montana, Nebraska, Nevada, New York, and South Dakota. Nebraska will also vote on a second ballot initiative, which would add a 12-week abortion limit to the state's constitution. These ballot initiatives follow numerous consecutive losses for the pro-life movement at the polls. The first one in Kansas. The Value Them Both amendment sought to reverse the state's so-called constitutional right to abortion and allow lawmakers to pass pro-life laws. Many viewed the vote as a litmus test for future abortion measures. And in August of 2022, Kansas voters rejected the pro-life amendment. It was the first significant loss for the pro-life movement after its major victory in the overturning of Roe v. Wade. Since then, pro-life Americans have seen 5 more losses for life at the ballot box. California, Michigan, Ohio, and Vermont all amended their constitutions to include a so-called right to abortion. In Kentucky, a traditionally red state with strong pro-life laws, voters rejected an initiative that would have amended the state constitution to say there is no right to abortion. With 10 states taking up abortion this November, pro-life advocates see another uphill battle to protect the unborn. But some are looking to Florida as an opportunity to flip the script on abortion amendments and land a significant win in the post-Roe landscape. Mark Irons takes us to the Sunshine State and shows how the Catholic Church is working to defend life.
Abortion will be on a number of state ballots this November, and one consequential amendment will be decided in Florida.
I think people should have the right to do an abortion whenever they choose.
I think you're killing an innocent human.
We spoke to voters throughout South Florida. If Amendment 4 passes in November, it would remove the state's current ban on abortion after 6 weeks of pregnancy and an unborn child could be aborted much later during his or her development. The proposed state constitutional amendment reads in part, "No law shall prohibit, penalize, delay, or restrict abortion before viability or when necessary to protect the patient's health, as determined by the patient's healthcare provider."
I mean, that kind of takes rights away from the child, which is unborn.
Justin Navarez of Lake Worth, Florida, is critical of Amendment 4 and will vote against it.
I will vote no. Yes, I will vote no.
In Miami, Isabella Davila voiced her support for abortion.
Everyone here should have the right to, decide what's happening with their body.
It's their body, their body, their choice.
But in Palm Beach, Abigail Michael is pushing back against that type of description of the issue.
I don't think it's really my body, my choice, because there is another human in there.
In South Florida, Archbishop Thomas Winsky of Miami provides the voice of the Catholic Church, which he adds respects the view of science that life begins at conception. And his pro-life message isn't just for Catholics throughout the state.
Abortion is not a religious issue, it's a human rights issue.
What does the state of Florida need to know about Amendment 4?
Well, it's a very radical amendment, and so what they need to know is to vote no on 4.
60% of Florida voters would have to vote yes on Amendment 4 for the measure to pass. Republican Governor Ron DeSantis, who signed the ban on abortion after 6 weeks, has warned the passage of Amendment 4 would mean the end of the pro-life movement in Florida.
To eliminate all pro-life protections, parental consent for abortion, and have abortion all the way up to the moment of birth. Now, that is wrong.
In the Sunshine State, abortion law will be decided by the people.
We brought that issue back to the states, and now the states are voting on it.
Many are wondering how one well-known Floridian will vote on the amendment. Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago residence is across the water here in Palm Beach, Florida. The former president says abortion is an issue that each state should decide on. And Thursday, during an NBC News interview, Trump was asked how he would vote on Amendment 4.
There's an abortion-related amendment on the ballot to overturn the 6-week ban in Florida. How are you going to vote on that?
Well, I think the 6 week is too short. It has to be more time, and so and I've told them that I want more weeks.
So you'll vote in favor of the amendment?
I am going to be voting that we need more than 6 weeks.
Soon after that, his campaign released a statement saying President Trump has not yet said how he will vote on the ballot initiative in Florida. He simply reiterated that he believes 6 weeks is too short. Deanna Mimoni, a Trump supporter from Delray Beach, hopes even those who think abortion should be allowed at certain times during pregnancy will object to unrestricted abortion access.
I do believe that women have the right to choose, but I also think there has to be a limit to that choice. Amendment 4, no. I'm voting no on Amendment 4.
The Archdiocese of Miami has rolled out a comprehensive campaign asking voters to do the same.
Vote no on Amendment 4.
By eliminating parental consent, Amendment 4 would make abortion the only medical procedure that a minor child can access in Florida.
It's ambiguous. It's deceptive.
To leave viability undefined gives complete freedom for elective abortion through the entire pregnancy.
And Archbishop Winsky says if people are looking for more reasons to vote no on the amendment,
I told them that last year in this state, 80,000 abortions took place. And those are 80,000 reasons why we should vote against 4 in November.
Mark Irons, EWTN News in depth.
To get a sense of the full picture of what is happening across the country on the ballot initiative front, we are joined by Sue Liebel of Susan B. Anthony Pro-Life America. Sue has a national overview as the organization's state affairs director. She also serves a dual role as its Midwest regional director. Sue, welcome. It's great to speak with you. I first want to get your take on Florida. Some pro-lifers believe Florida could become the first state to defeat an abortion amendment. What are your thoughts?
I think that's entirely possible. Don't give up hope. Stay in the game. Amendment 4 is so deceptive and so extreme that those facts have come out early and often. Governor DeSantis has been an incredible voice to get that message out so that the lies and the deception won't be believed. We've seen that, unfortunately, in other states. But in Florida, Floridians are getting the truth, and they're getting it early. It is abortion up until birth. It is too extreme for Florida. Even President Trump opposes, you're not sure where he's at, but we know he opposes abortion after 5 months. And this amendment would go way past that. So we think Florida is a beacon of hope.
You mentioned Governor DeSantis. Can you speak more about the role he's been playing in the state's pro-life momentum? And would you like to see more action from other states' pro-life governors and leaders?
Absolutely. I think he's just being a role model in all of this because, Hollywood and the media, the mainstream media, the liberal bastions of abortion are all out there. It's hard to get the truth out there sometimes, but our elected officials who have that bully pulpit and will use it can get that message out and help voters understand what the question actually says, what that actually means, and how to vote. So I think that Governor DeSantis has really led the way. And I know I'm talking with other states and other governors about doing the same.
You mentioned how former President Donald Trump has expressed he is against late-term abortion, but are you concerned that his comments this week that Florida's current 6-week abortion ban is too short? Are you concerned that might sway voters to end up supporting Amendment 4?
Well, I certainly hope not, because while I'm against abortion at any stage, there's a huge difference between Florida's existing abortion law and abortion all the way up until birth. That's such a huge gap. And so what Floridians need to understand is that this amendment would take abortion all the way up until birth, which some people don't believe actually happens, but it does. So it's really true. It would also make it throw women under the bus, make it so that the health and safety standards won't apply, that it won't even have to be a doctor that does the abortion. And most importantly, too, take away parental rights so that parents won't have any rights in their child abortion. All the stuff you talked about leading up to this interview that I was listening to, it's all true.
Yeah. Sue, what about other states with abortion on the ballot? 10 states, will be voting on it this November. How are you feeling about that?
We are always concerned because of the experience of other states of how much money the other side spends. For example, in Ohio last November, they spent $60 million. Overall, in the past, 6 states have passed up. They've $2.5 million they spend. They have an unlimited amount of money. Unfortunately, they spend that to put TV commercials on that say women won't get health care. That's not true. They put on TV commercials that make you think that if you don't vote yes, the world's going to. It's not true. All 50 states have laws that allow health care for women. No one's going to do that. So we have learned a little bit about how the other side plays dirty. And it's hard to combat that, but we do. And as you see, lots of players in Florida already in the game. Already speaking out, men, women, religious leaders, others. And it's really, really important that we do that, and we do that often. So we help people understand and not believe what they're going to be seeing on TV.
Absolutely. Just expanding on that point, as someone who has been steeped in the pro-life movement, Sue, for years, what is your big picture prognosis as to why the life issue is consecutively losing on the state level since Dobbs?
Well, unfortunately, as I said, the other side has an unlimited amount of resources to confuse and lie to viewers or radio listeners or wherever you're getting their messaging. It's just not true. In fact, they say that this is not that extreme, but the states that have already done it, Michigan and Ohio, they've already started then. They passed theirs, and now they're taking away all the health and safety protections for women. And it's shocking what's happening once it passed. And people are saying, oh, wait, I didn't mean that. I didn't mean that extreme. And so we know that we're up against a formidable opponent. And of course, we are on the side of truth. And that's something that makes us have to talk about this every day. My recommendation to your viewers is to discern what you're hearing. if you hear that TV ad or that radio ad that says that women aren't going to get the health care they need, I mean, really? Is that really going to happen? Of course not. So we need to be discerning, probably more than we've seen in most modern times. There's also a trans aspect to this, and I hope that someday you'll talk about this on your show.
But to that point, we all need to have our critical thinking caps on amid all this campaign messaging. So there's a debate even among pro-lifers about the federal government's role in protecting life. For example, whether there should even be a federal abortion ban. Given this political moment that we're in, can you speak to the importance of the state and the state's role in defending life right now?
Oh, absolutely. The state, in fact, what we're talking about here with the amendment is amending the state's constitution. Not just a law, the actual constitution itself of Florida or Missouri or Arizona or other states. So that's really going to the very foundational documents that we have, are our state constitutions. States are closest to the voter. So think about your state representative. Find out who your state representative is, your state senator, your governor. That's very, very important now for abortion policy. States will play a much greater role now. And you've seen it in Florida. They had a heartbeat bill, but then they had a 15-week bill, and then they went ahead and passed the heartbeat bill later when they had the opportunity to do after Dobbs. And of course, Governor DeSantis is speaking out and is being a leader in Florida. So it's really important at the state level. We also believe, though, I just really need to say that we do believe that there is still a federal role. For example, most countries, we're one of the